What do you want to hear from the president tonight regarding the DACA program? And do you believe that this is the most important thing ultimately that will resonate with voters?
Absolutely. This is a critical issue because it is holding up so many other issues, including a bipartisan budget agreement for this fiscal year and the next fiscal year. So we really need to get it done, not just because it's the right thing to do, but because the political system really needs to move on immigration so that then we can move on other issues that are important. And what the president needs to do tonight is really push both sides. And I say push intentionally because Republicans have been very timid about addressing immigration policy over the years. And I think Democrats have enjoyed using the issue, weaponizing the issue come election season. So both sides really need to be pushed to come to a bipartisan agreement. The White House took a very important step last week by putting on paper what they believed this agreement should look like, the framework. And tonight, the president really has to make that sell to the American people to put pressure on Republicans to move to the middle and on Democrats to move to the middle.
And to kind of punctuate that point, Congressman, you'll be bringing a DACA permit holder as your invited guest. You say you were encouraged by the president's proposal to provide a path of citizenship or to citizenship for the Dreamers. But many of the Dreamers themselves say that they don't want to be used so that the president can then end the current policy of family unification and install harsh quotas on legal immigration. Is that sort of deal acceptable to you?
Well, look, politics is the art of the possible. I don't agree with everything in the framework issued by the administration, but I can tell you this. President Obama, with his executive order, protected about 800,000 young immigrants brought to this country as children. The Trump administration is proposing legalizing, giving full American citizenship to nearly 2 million. I understand why some on the left are struggling with that. I don't think they expected that the White House would have such a forward-leaning proposal on Dreamers, but the fact is that they have. And for those of us, Republicans and Democrats, who really want to help these young people, really want to officially welcome them to our country, because as I say, they are Americans. The law just has to catch up to them. We have to be willing to negotiate and to accept some things that we probably would not put in a bill if it was our own. So we need to stay at the table. It's very easy to focus on what divides us. It's why we've gotten nowhere on immigration for 12 years since George W. Bush first introduced the idea. Let's make this time different, especially because there are 800,000 lives at risk, 800,000 young immigrants who came forward and who now really have something to lose.
Congressman, mostly from the other side of the aisle, we've seen criticism of the framework laid out by the White House. In conversations that you're having, how optimistic are you that Democrats will engage with the proposal and take it seriously as an opportunity for a deal?
Behind the scenes, there's a lot of conversation, a lot of cooperation. And by the way, the White House did not say that this was take it or leave it. They said that they were open to negotiation, to improving this agreement, to modifying it so that it can get the 60 votes it needs in the Senate and, of course, 218 in the House. So I remain optimistic. But having said that, this isn't going to be easy. There's a reason why Congress has failed for 17 years on Dreamers. It's been 17 years since the first DREAM Act type legislation was filed. And it's been about 12 years since we've been discussing comprehensive immigration reform. So we shouldn't be overly optimistic about this. We have to be realistic. But the truth is that there's a large bipartisan group of senators working on this. And here on the House side, there are many of us who are trying to find a way to get to yes as well. So I remain cautiously optimistic.
Congressman, the president tonight is expected to talk about some of the big wins here, the tax overhaul, the stock market, although obviously today you have to ignore deregulation, the jobs gains in particular. For all the positives that are surrounding this administration, why isn't the president more popular here? And is that going to be a problem for the Republicans in the midterms?
Well, up to now, the tax reform legislation has obviously been a great success. We're seeing all throughout the country how the economic recovery is reaching deeper into our society and benefiting a lot of people who for many years only read about a recovery but didn't actually experience it. We've read all the big headlines, but in communities like mine, small businesses are also investing more in their workers. So this is wonderful news. The reason a lot of Americans remain pessimistic about the country is because of our politics. It is so divisive. It is so ugly. Republicans and Democrats constantly bickering. That has to stop. And the president has a unique opportunity tonight. Every president has this special opportunity. It only comes around once a year to address the American people and their representatives and really turn the page on this nasty, divisive chapter of ugly politics that we've seen in this country. The president can do that tonight, and I really hope he gives it his best and that he follows up on it after, because I think that's what's missing in this country. The economy is doing well. People are earning more. Things are getting better, but our politics seem to get worse and worse every day. That's what we have to turn around. I'm committed to doing that in the Congress, and I hope the president is committed to doing that tonight as the chief executive.